Welcome to Middle Age Can Be Your Best Age, the show designed to help make middle age your prime time of life by defying the notion that once you reach 40, 50, or even 60 years old, your crowning achievements are all behind you. Regardless of whether you're just approaching 40 or firmly entrenched in your middle years, it's time to launch your very own personal journey toward a joyful and purpose-filled second half of life. Each week, host Roy Richards, an expert on midlife renewal and author of A Midlife Challenge, Wake Up, will discuss the challenges common to middle age and help guide you to a brighter tomorrow. Now, here's Roy.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of Middle Age Can Be Your Best Age. And this is our first program of the new year, so let me ask you, have you made any New Year's resolutions? Have you broken any yet? Well, my guest today, acclaimed psychiatrist Dr. Donald Pett, M.D., is here to suggest a resolution that can transform your whole way of thinking and behaving, a resolution that radically increases your own happiness along with the happiness of those around you, a resolution that can change your outlook on today and tomorrow from negative to positive, and a resolution that changes your focus on every challenge you face, large or small, from sorrow and regret to active search for a solution, and a resolution that helps guide you to become a much more loving person, not just to yourself, your spouse, children, and closest friends, but to fellow human beings throughout the world. And believe it or not, Dr. Pett is here to explain how you can launch this wonderful life-altering transformation. The resolution is to ban 7 word phrases all of us use when talking to ourselves and replacing them with similar yet more hopeful phrases. And perhaps more important, he's also here to explain how each one of us, by teaching many, can spread the message of universal love and respect throughout the globe and save our human race from potential destruction. And here are a few of Dr. Pett's qualifications. Dr. Donald Pett, M.D., became a wisdom doctor by studying psychology, philosophy, and religion at Johns Hopkins University, and then studying the mind at Johns Hopkins Medical School. And as a certified psychiatrist, over the half-century, Dr. Pett has helped thousands break addictions, positively transform their lives, and radically increase their happiness. And his professional career includes staff psychiatrist counseling addicts at the U.S. Hospital Prison in Lexington, Kentucky, service with the Connecticut Department of Mental Health, and creation and direction of a multimodality treatment program serving the Hartford, Connecticut area to train counselors, police, lawyers, judges, and community leaders regarding addictions. And while serving many years in private practice in Connecticut, Dr. Pett also served as a private consultant to the White House, helping evaluate addiction treatment programs around the country. And Dr. Pett is founder of LovingMeNow.org, offering courses completely free on becoming a more loving person. And he's author of the 2017 book, World Peace in 3 Years or Less, or Else. And hello, Dr. Donald Pett. It's truly remarkable how much you've accomplished over the years. We're indeed honored to have you with us on Middle Age Can Be Your Best Age.
Well, it's my honor to be here. It's so nice, and I congratulate you for what you're working, doing to make the public aware of what we need to do to be happier, more loving, and to create world peace.
Well, you begin with the premise that every person on earth wants and needs 4 things to survive and thrive, which you labeled the HELP formula. And what are those 4 things?
Okay. HELP is happiness. We all know what happiness is.
Yeah.
Well, we would like it, but only some of us know it. Enough is enough education, enough knowledge, but it's also enough of what we need physically. We need enough food and water and shelter, but we also need our spiritual needs. So that's the enough, the E. L is we need love. We need unconditional universal love. And that's something, a very critical area. And, of course, the 4th is peace. So happiness, enough, love, and peace. Peace spell help. We all could use a little help. I never turn down help myself. When everyone offers me help, I welcome it.
Well, here's the irony. You contend that every one of us has within all that's needed to survive and thrive, living a happy, peaceful life and spreading love and concern to others. Yet, as you label it, the puzzle, we fill our world with fear, hate, scarcity, and wars. You go on to suggest that the quickest, easiest, most enjoyable, and otherwise effective way to overcome these negatives is to incorporate the 4 health formulas into our lives, is what you call a new way of thinking, or ANWAT, the 7+2 formula. Very briefly, what is the 7+2 formula, and how many days of practice do you estimate it takes until
Einstein told us that we can. It's a very simple thing. Einstein told us we create our own problems because of the way we think. We tend to think in a way that divides our world into us and them, good and bad. Just look at what's happening in politics, and you can see how divided we are. It's so obvious, and every country feels they're the only right way. But what Einstein told us is all we have to do is change our way of thinking, and it's very simple. If we change 7 simple words if we practice these 7 words over a 30-day period, spend a half an hour a day for 30 days, we change our old way of thinking, our old habit, to create a new habit. And then when we practice this daily in our daily life, it creates all the things we want, those 4 qualities that I mentioned, those health qualities.
Yeah, can we go through those 7-word switches that what we eliminate and what we replace it with?
They're very easy. So when we say, I think I can, you see we're turning on our energy. But usually what people are doing, they're telling themselves, it's too hard, why bother, what's the use? Or I can't is the word that we get into. You know, our older animal brain that we're born with, our subhuman brain, has been programmed over billions of years to have all the behaviors that worked for our ancestors. But those behaviors don't always work today. So they're trying to tell us what worked in the past, and in the past we had to be prepared to fight and to kill other people in order to compete for very limited resources. There were too many mouths to feed, and
or to run, fight or fight.
Fight or run, exactly. Fight or flight. So if you had to either be eat or eaten for that day, you had to worry, and so on. Am I going to be eaten, or can I find something to eat? So we had this idea that that for billions of years we thought the world into us and them. So when you say I think I can, you're turning on your energy instead of turning off your energy when you hear those words. Oh, it's too hard. I can't. Yeah. Those are the words you want to get rid of. Yeah, I mean, there's some things you can't flap your arms and fly like a bird, but most things we really can accomplish. We can accomplish amazing things. We've gone to the moon. We've created everything. So the first word is I think I can. The second word is when you get rid of the word they make me. You know, when an animal brain is...
It's always good to blame someone else or circumstances, and they made me do it.
Exactly. So we're always, the first response when something goes wrong is to say, who can we blame? All you have to do is look at the paper today, and every article basically is somebody who's wrong and how right we are. Yeah. And we're seeing again, and if you look at the world news and so on. So when you say, I allow, you see, then you're saying, I take the responsibility for me. Amen. Let's get rid of the blame and shame. We blame other people. We're the only species that seems to be so interested in guilt. We blame ourselves. We are blaming to ourselves. So when we say I allow, I say, yes, I'm going to take responsibility for my life and what I do. And you know what? I'm not a fool. I'm going to be happy today. I don't want to be miserable every day. So
when you blame someone else, you take no responsibility for making things better. You just
exactly. You're wasting your energy. Not only that, what happens when you blame other people? They blame you. Then they say, "Well, it's not my fault. It's your fault." And before you know it, that's the way we escalate things. What starts out as a little grudge becomes a fight, and then it becomes a world war.
Yeah.
Then the next word, the third word, is I could, for I should. One of our early world therapists came up with a word that most of us spend so much of our time shoulding on ourselves. We use this word should,
Yeah, and then we feel guilty that we haven't.
And should is what other people tell us we should do. Yeah. When you say I could, see that simple word I could is inviting our brain, our wonderful brain, our creative brain, to say, think about what you can do. You see, now we're into a problem solving or a puzzle solving way of looking at things instead of saying what others tell us to do. So that's the third word. The fourth word is what I is one of the most critical ones when we substitute both and for either or.
Yeah,
you know, most of the time we're saying, is it me or you, or is it right or wrong, or good or bad, or us or them, or yours or mine, good or bad. These are all the things that divide the world into two different categories. But when you say both and then, you say something that we are together. You know, we're more alike than different. Both and tells us you and I, we both have good brains. We both have the same amount of arms. We both have a heart. We both want the same things. We both want happiness, love, and peace. You know, so we say both and instead of either or. That word, you see, divides us into two categories.
Yeah.
So that's the fourth word. Now, the fifth word is what I call the magical problem-solving or puzzle-solving sentence. Because if you do nothing else but use this one sentence, it will change your life. When you ask the little sentence, what's good for me and you for now and the future, instead of what most people do, what's good for me and my tribe, for my family and me, for here and now. You see, that's the...
And my way is the only right way. Your
and
way
my way is the only right way. Yes.
Yeah.
So
you don't listen to what somebody else... You just try to win the other person over.
Yeah, my way or the highway. So you see, that says there's only one way, and it's my way, so you've got to be wrong. And that's why you deserve to be punished. So that's the simple sentence, what's good for my tribe and your tribe for here and now. I call that the magical sentence because if you listen to that sentence, there's no one to be blamed. It's simply saying, how can you and I work together to use our energy to be creative? How can we be helpful to one another? How can we be loving to one another? So that's such a wonderful sentence if you just did that sentence. So I've given you 5 simple changes, word you shouldn't use and the ones you can use instead. And now those are the things you do. Now there are a couple of words that help us put on the brakes to get us rid of what we are not wise to be doing.
Yeah.
So we use words like fear, anger, and anxiety.
Yeah.
And these were appropriate for our ancestors. They had a lot of fear. They had a lot of anxiety because they were threatened every moment of their life. They could be, a wild animal or another tribe could come to take their cave or want to take their clothes or whatever they had. So instead of these words, we use the word energy. You see, what happens is when we get into a difficult situation, our whole body physiology changes. We start secreting substances that make us more alert. Our blood goes more to our brain. We call this the emergency response. It's called the fight or flight response, but it's really creating energy. So in today's world, we don't want to use energy to fight people or to kill people or to run away. We want to use energy to say, go back to how can we solve problems together. We want to use energy constructively. Yeah. We want to use energy to say, let's work together to make something happen. So when you use the word energy now for fear, anxiety, anger is a word that was appropriate for our ancestors, but today anger only gets us into trouble.
Yeah,
it's a word that usually leads to this emergency kind of a road rage. You've heard the word road rage. When something happens, they get all of a sudden. So many people get so upset and angry they do things they would regret later. Yeah. They even kill people, and then they say, "Oh, I didn't mean it." I say words to people that I wish I could have taken back.
And then for the seventh, where you want us to eliminate the word emergency from the category.
Then we use the word energy instead. And then the seventh word is instead of the word emergency, we want to use the word urgent. In today's world, we rarely have a life-threatening emergency.
Yeah. When
you leave your house in the morning, you're likely going to come home in the evening. You don't expect that there's a wild bear that's going to come and to eat you. Or whatever, and it is true that occasionally there's a murder and so on, But the chances of that happening it's not that happens that often. Most people every day they realize that they have difficult situations, and in today's world we have to think about them. So instead of using the word emergency, where we respond automatically and gets us into trouble, we use the word urgency, which tells us we have time. It's an important situation. It's urgent, but not an emergency. And what we do instead is ask ourselves three simple questions. Is it high urgency, medium urgency, or low urgency?
Yeah.
And in almost every situation, the situations we tend to think of as urgency are very important, are really a very low urgency. They're ones we think about at night. We talk about them. We can solve problems over a period of time. We negotiate with other people to work out a solution. We don't want to say, get out of the car and let's fight now, because what you did to me, you cut me off on the highway or whatever. And so these simple words are so easy to learn, and it changes the way we think once we do them regularly.
Yeah.
And
I know you say the 7-word switches awaken to us in the universal truth of reciprocity, which expressed as the golden rule that implants within mental skills to transcend tribal law or tribal love to create unconditional universal love. Now that's the reason we have a word, because we're so identified to our tribe. You know, my religion, my country, my political party. Well, let's move on to that 7 plus 2 formula. What's the ANWAT formula? What's the plus 2? What are the two still secret, self-taught, universal love or creation skills that you call them?
Skills, these 2 skills are very, very important, and they just make your life wonderful. The first one gets us what everyone wants, and that's the new version of the golden rule. These 2 other switches, these 2 other new ways of looking at things. It's what's the first one is to unconditionally, emotionally love yourself. Yeah. Most people don't know how to love themselves. When people get up and when they start their life, most people are told. I've had so many people in my practice say they were told, if you love yourself, you're being egotistical, you're being self-centered. And so they say, I've been told that love only counts if it comes from other people. So that's kind of ridiculous. So that's why we have men are competing so much to show that they have bigger muscles, and so when they have more power, they compete with other men. And women compete for other men. You know, women go around like love junkies, looking to get somebody to say "I love you," instead of learning to this very simple thing, learning to love yourself. When we are adults, we have the ability to take responsibility to love ourselves. So what I urge people to do is, when you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, instead of all those negative things you say about yourself, which you can imagine when many people say, you look in the mirror and you say, I am such a hot sketch. I really love me. I really am a great person. I love me. So we take responsibility to give ourselves what we need for love every morning that lasts us through the whole day. If instead of depending on other people, we are capable of learning to love ourselves. And when I say love yourself with such abundance that it overflows to enrich the world.
Yeah. Why is it that, as you point out, it's much more essential and urgent now that we love other people and don't continue with the tribal thinking? What is the threat to the entire humanity of this old tribal love now that we have nuclear weapons and global warming and a few other threats?
Well, the big threat we have today is it's the most imminent threat. It's the one that the experts tell us that's going to do us in if we don't make these changes very rapidly. And that's the threat that Einstein predicted when he created that famous formula E equals mc squared. Yeah. That was the formula that led to the nuclear fission and the bomb. So instead of listening to what Einstein said, which was we must teach ourselves a newer way of thinking where people cooperate, 9 countries now instead have decided that it's best to make more weapons of what I call weapons of ultimate destructive power, or nuclear weapons. So we now have almost 14 or perhaps 14,000 nuclear weapons in silos and submarines and airplanes ready to be unleashed, enough ready to be unleashed in minutes that would wipe everything we love, including our children, ourselves, in a matter of minutes. And it only takes now the word of one person or a mechanical error or a terrorist that could cause the release, a push of a button, one button that would send a rocket up to the air that will send a message to rockets and silos and airplanes to go and drop their bombs, and that will be the end of the world for everyone, basically. And people don't realize
about this free education community that you founded on the internet, and how we can get involved in it, and how our individual efforts at world understanding and love can band together to change things before it's too late. How do we proceed to spread the message?
That's the most important thing, the call to action. What is it that we can do? We've got a difficult situation, but as I said, we want to ask, I think I can, what can I do? What could I do? What's going to make a difference? What's going to help you and me and everybody? And the answer is very simply, if you go to www.peace, P-E-A-C-E.academy, it's that simple, peace.academy. There's no .com or .org, just www.peace.academy. And you can get our these recordings of the 7 word switches we mentioned. I've had a well-known speaker and actor record these so that the recordings are easy to listen to, that they can be, all of them can be listened to them in 90 minutes, but if you just spend 30 minutes a day for 30 days and repeat them, they become automatic and effortless, and it will change your entire life. So it's all free.
www.peace.academy.
Peace.academy. And if you go to worldpeace.academy, that's just all videos there. They're just some fun kind of things to listen to, www.peace.academy. So there are books there that are free that you can look at. There's recordings, there's interviews. There's a whole relatively 3-credit course, and one of the nice things, it's all free and non-commercial. You will never be asked for money. It's one of the gifts that anyone can go to that website. They can read any of my 4 books there, which are free, and then you can simply, by a click, pass them on to your friends and family as gifts for holidays at no cost. That's not a bad deal.
No, it's such a great contrast to this stuff you continually see on TV about, the Democrats versus the Republicans, and should not impeach President Trump. You'd listen to one side or the other, you wouldn't even think you're in the same country or talking about the same individual. They're all so wrapped up in the we versus them.
And the problem is, you see, we're born into this habit of dividing the world into 2 categories, us and them. And we're not aware of it. It's a kind of an addiction. It's more addictive than heroin or alcohol. It's so addictive that we think this way, and we don't even realize that's the way we think. But it's so easy to change it as well.
Yeah, we can begin today thinking and getting rid of those 7 outdated terms, the tribal way of thinking, and replacing it with the universal life way of thinking. And it seems impossible at first, but I really do think the message of peace can spread throughout humanity and save humanity. And thank you so much, Dr. Donald Pett, for being with us today, and best of success in getting your message out.
Well, I appreciate your efforts as well. So I appreciate what you're doing, and I hope you'll keep doing it. Keep informing the public. Let's all wake up and realize that we have the power ourselves to do what needs to be done right now. We don't have to wait for God. We don't have to wait for a president or a leader. We have the power ourselves. Let's welcome all the help we can get from others, but let's not ignore the situation and put our heads in the sand and say, somebody else will have to take care of it.
No, and let's make 2020 the year when the world really does start to change and universal peace starts to spread. Thank you so much, Dr. Pett. And
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy New Year.
Well, now that the holidays are over, you're back at work and busy once again with routine family and social obligations. On top of that, those of us up north are living through the coldest, darkest days of the year. And in the dead of winter, isn't it fun to dream of warmer weather and begin to plan for a vacation time later this year? And here's a great idea. How about a cruise to Alaska? No, not in February or January or February, even in March. I'm talking about departure from Seattle on the last week in August. But not the usual vacation cruise, where our goal is simply to let the hair down, relax, enjoy time at sea and the ports of call, getting away from the normal hectic routine. Instead, how about a once-in-a-lifetime motivational cruise where you not only receive one-on-one time with a highly regarded energy healer and lifestyle coach, Jaya Myra, but also access to a wide range of seminars at sea with an amazing lineup of the planet's most respected spiritual teachers, psychic readers, healers, and mediums. And to conclude today's program, we're going to introduce you to the amazing Sail with Spirit seminar at sea coming up next summer from August 28th through September 4th, 2020. And my next guest, the aforementioned Jaya Myra, is here to preview the cruise and invite you to join her and other like-minded souls in, as she puts it, the experience of a lifetime. And some may recall that Jaya Myra has been a two-time prior guest on our program on May 29, 2017, and again in March 2018. And here are a few of her accomplishments. She's an author, speaker, trainer, energy healer, and lifestyle coach. Teaches folks like you and me how to cultivate our physical, mental, and emotional health based upon our very own unique energy types and elemental body composition. And she's author of a 2015 book, Vibrational Healing, and has another book on the way for January 2021. And she's been featured in numerous top-tier publications and on radio and TV interviews, and has also spoken live at the UN. And hello, Myra. Welcome back to Middle Age Can Be Your Best Age, and Happy New Year.
Good morning, and Happy New Year to you, too. Thanks so much for having me back. It's always wonderful to be a guest on your show.
Well, if we may, I'd like to start with a general description of the cruise, which sails through some of the most awe-inspiring scenery in the world. Tell us a bit about the luxury ship you'll sail on, the ports of call, scenic passages, and native culture you'll experience.
Oh, absolutely. The Sail with Spirit cruise is going to be an amazing event. It's happening on the Celebrity Solstice cruise ship. So you're on a major cruise liner, and you're going through the major ports of call. So you're going to be boarding the ship in Seattle, and then you're going to be making stops at Ketchikan, Juneau, Sagway, Victoria. You're going to have time to get out, walk around, do some sightseeing. One of the nice things about this cruise that is not common with all cruises is that it's all expenses included. So once you do this is going to include going, deboarding at all those ports of call. All of your food is included, and every single seminar under the Sail with Spirit banner. There's going to be at least 13 world-renowned teachers that are going to be teaching on this cruise this year. So I'm super excited to be able to participate.
Breathtaking Endicott and Arm Fjord and the Dawes Glacier. You also have access to that scenery. And but let's move to what makes the cruise so special, the spiritual enlightenment participants receive. First of all, what about the one-on-one inspiration your guests will receive from you?
So every single person that signs up and uses my referral code, which is Jaya Myra, is going to get a special one-on-one session with me where you can learn either a proprietary meditation technique that's going to help you connect with yourself and with God, or we can focus on something else that you want to work on. So this is very unique because I don't offer one-on-one sessions with people outside of ongoing 6-month or 1-year coaching packages with people. So this is your opportunity to go take in the beautiful sights up at Alaska. And I don't know if you've ever been to Alaska. But
I sure have. Back in 2012, my wife and I went through that passage, and it's really a great cruise.
It's amazing,
we didn't have
isn't
the inspiration this cruise offers, but it was a lot of fun anyway. Well, the cruise also offers these seminar at sea lectures and workshops and conference rooms with various psychic mediums. Are these seminars scheduled each day of the cruise? Are guests permitted to choose which ones to attend? And are these seminars scheduled so that participants don't miss out on the awesome sights and onshore experiences of Alaska?
Yes, absolutely. So when you sign up for this Sail with Spirit cruise, you have access to every single workshop, and none of these are going to be overlapping with each other, and they're not going to take away from stopping at the different ports of call and sightseeing. I mean, we wanted to make sure that this cruise is a very holistic experience for everyone, so you get the best of vacation plus personal development and deepening your spiritual connection.
Yeah, on the website for the cruise, sailwithspirit.com, it lists you and 12 other tentative presenters. Can you perhaps highlight for us one or two of the other celebrity presenters that are scheduled to attend?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know Susan Shumsky pretty well. She's a really amazing woman. She's the author of 17 pretty well-renowned books. She's definitely considered an authority in spirituality. She spent a lot of time working and living directly with Maharishi in his community in India. So she's been doing this stuff since before it was cool. She's definitely one of those people that you do not want to miss out on the opportunity to meet in person and get her unique guidance from. So, and again, she's one of those people who only does these types of sessions when you're on a cruise with her. So this is like a very rare opportunity to get that one-on-one coaching directly. There's many other people that are going to be teaching there as well. Lisa Williams, Denise Lynn, Carrie Richardson, Barbara Hardy. So a lot of these people are going to help you deepen your psychic connection, deepen your connection to your spirituality and to God. Some of them are going to be able to teach you how to connect with your soul or spirit guides. So you can really tailor this to any aspect of spirituality that you want to cultivate. I'm going to be focusing on purpose, finding and living your life purpose, how this connects with health and well-being, and how spirituality is an integral aspect for healthy living.
Well, that's what you'd expect your guests then to take away from the cruise is what you just described.
Absolutely.
Objective.
And how can you not when you're already in beautiful scenery and you're going to be amongst all these inspirational teachers and coaches?
Well, if listeners want to register or to learn more about the Sail with Spirit 7-day cruise, how can they do so? You can refer us to a website that they can go to.
Yes, sailwithspirit.com. And when you go there, you can learn anything you want to know about the cruise, the different people that are teaching, the workshops they're going to be offering, the special sessions they're going to be offering. You can learn all about the different ports of call. Of course, when the cruise is leaving and coming back, it's departing Thursday, August 27th, 2020, coming back Friday, September 4th. So you can learn everything you want to know at sailwithspirit.com. And if you use my referral code, Jaya Myra, you will get a special 1-hour session on board with me at no charge.
Yeah, that's great. Is there a limit on the number of guests who can register for the cruise in total? And how about how many can designate you as their register in your as their spiritual mentor?
As many people as they want to can do that.
Oh, that's
so there's
great.
No limit on that.
What's the absolute time cutoff when someone must register to get on the cruise? Is there anything on?
I don't think there's an absolute time cutoff, but the prices do increase as you get closer to the cruise. So if this is something that you want to check out, I definitely recommend registering early to ensure that you get a spot. I mean, if this fills up, of course, they're not going to let anyone else register for the cruise. So I recommend that you register early. This cruise has been happening for many, many, many years now.
Yeah, this is not a new.
People love it.
Something new. It's proven in value.
Yes.
And you promote a very special bonus offer, $1,000 value. I know that one-on-one session is part of it, but you also talk about early access to your WELL method, W-E-L-L. What? Just very briefly, what is that WELL method?
So the WELL method is a proprietary method that I teach, that I'm talking about in my upcoming book that's coming out 1 year from now in January 2021. And it's really teaching people the 4 cornerstones of purpose, health, and well-being, and how that you can use these foundational principles to find and live your purpose and ensure that you're on the right track.
Okay, just to clarify, this cruise is for adults 21 and over only. So I guess we can't bring the kids along.
Not on this one, but it should be a relaxing getaway for anyone who attends.
Yeah. Well, give us once again that website where they go to register and to find out more about it. It's sailwithspirit.com, right?
That's correct.
And before we go, please give us your primary web address where listeners can learn more about their energy type, their body's amazing ability to heal itself, access your resources, and preview your present book, Vibrational Healing. It's just your name, right, the website?
Yes. It is www.jayamyra.com. You can find me anywhere online under that handle. All of my social media handles, my website, my Wikipedia page. I am super easy to find online.
Well, great. And there are a number of great cruises every summer from Seattle and Vancouver to Alaska, offered by several different cruise lines. But imagine how great it would be to experience this awe-inspiring scenery and culture, and also bring something infinitely more value home with you, a reinvigorated body, mind, and spirit, and a positive, inspired outlook on today and tomorrow. And are you ready for a rich second half of life based upon a wholly new paradigm? If so, I highly recommend you look into the 2020 Sail with Spirit Seminar at Sea. And in planning at least part of your vacation for 2020, what better than 7 days of spiritual growth with Jaya Myra, along with some of the most inspirational spiritual healers and teachers in the world, all there right with you on a single cruise. And if so, visit the cruise website, sailwithspirit.com, and if and when you register, be sure to include the referral code, Jaya Myra. And thank you, Myra, for alerting us to this inspirational cruise opportunity, and best of success to you both on the cruise and throughout the new year.
Thanks so much for having me.
And to all our listeners, have a fabulous new year, and may this be the year when middle age truly becomes your best age. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Middle Age Can Be Your Best Age, hosted by Roy Richards, an expert on midlife renewal and author of both A Midlife Challenge, Wake Up, and Wake Up, Captain and Crew, Restart Your Engines. You can learn more about Roy and his middle age renewal training system by visiting his website, middleagerenewal.com.